The Oklahoma City Thunder select Chet Holmgren from Gonzaga University.
What a pass. Giddy underneath for JRE. The reverse and the rookie-to-rookie action. SGA defended closely by Westbrook. Tough. Step back. Gets up the shot. Banks it in for the lead.
This is Udart. You're listening to the Uncontested.
What is up, and welcome to the Uncontested Podcast, coming to you on draft week, Sunday, July 18th. We are, 4 days away from the NBA draft. I'm your host for the evening, Jacob Niffen. I've got JD with me today.
Fella.
We got Justin Peabody.
Hello, everybody.
Nick Crane is here.
Not wearing a hat.
And we've got Taylor Peterson.
Draft week.
Before we dive into all the draft stuff, I want to let you guys know we are brought to you by the Blue Wire Podcast Network and dailythunder.com. Also, we will be live here again Wednesday, 9 p.m. Central Time for our draft preview show. We're going to make a bunch of draft predictions and then make plans Thursday night for the NBA draft. I don't care if you're watching it at home, if you're in your mom's basement, if you're out at a watch party, wherever you are.
If you're in
get out your
Jacob's
computer.
basement.
Hey, my mom doesn't have a basement.
That's
but
where
if you want to
we
go
will
hang
be.
out there. That is maybe where we will be. If you're watching on TV, whatever, pull us up on your phone, your laptop. Come hang out with us as we go live from, I don't know where we'll be live from, but we'll be live from somewhere. Going through the entire, live from the internet for the entire first round of the NBA draft. It is a blast. We've done it for 3 years. This will be year number 4 now. It should be a great, great time. And then afterwards, we will record our NBA draft recap podcast where we'll talk about who the Thunder selected. It's going to be a great time. I will be there. JD will be there. Taylor will be there. Justin will be there. Will Nick be there? We don't know.
Like it's
Find out
mystery.
next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, come watch and find out.
Eamon in the chat
Whoa.
says you can come and watch my mom get on to me for swearing again.
That was a highlight of last year.
That was a good time.
I'm
Hey.
glad that continued.
To my defense, I did not know what the F was going on, so I asked what the F was going on.
It's a simple question, really.
Turned out what the F was going on was the Thunder traded 3 protected firsts for Ousmane Dieng.
It's a
Imagine that.
fair.
I was
fair
not
assessment.
aware. We blind reacted, not to pick number 2 because we knew what pick number 2 was, but we blind reacted to pick number 12, and it was a blast. Should we do that again this year?
Yeah.
When they get on the clock, yeah.
Yeah, that was
If they haven't already traded up
Yeah.
and taken Jarris?
Ooh.
Yeah, we should get a live reaction of you whenever Jarris says bring a different hat.
I will have the cough syrup and Tide cocktail ready.
Oh my god. So specific.
Don't try that at home.
Jacob's going to start his own Indiana Pacers podcast.
Yeah, that won't happen. Well, if you listen to Wednesday pod was the slop drop. And apparently we chose the wrong time to record the slop drop pod because Thursday and Friday, there was so much dadgum slop. It looked like a farm. So we decided we needed slop drop part 2. Play the other one.
Now that's a lot of slop.
So good.
It's a lot of mileage there.
We will get a lot of use out of the slop
So
drop
stupid.
sounder.
I love it.
All right. Not really slop, because what happens when slop forms into something tangible? Does it become like
You get a
It's
hot
feed.
dog.
Feed.
A hot dog.
You got a hot dog.
Gross.
all right, we got a hot dog today, folks. As Bradley Beal, the trade has finally happened. Probably 3 years too late. Is on his way to
was
the Phoenix
report-
Suns for a draft package, or not a draft package, but a trade package, which will blow you away. Chris Paul, who is about to get waived. Landry Shamet, who plays basketball. Some second-round picks and some first-round pick swaps. That's it.
Wild.
Now, we have heard that the Washington Wizards are going to look to reroute Chris Paul to a third team, if that's what Chris prefers, which I don't think Chris prefers to play in Washington. I think that might be a fair bet.
Respectfully.
He's either going to get rerouted to a third team, or I think Washington is going to waive him and only pay $15 million of that contract instead of $30 million.
25. They had to bump his guarantee to make the deal go through.
Ooh.
Oh, I thought
Good God.
even though I don't know the cap rules of it, I thought even though they matched the salary, either way, I don't think he's playing in Washington. Any thoughts on Brad Beal to Phoenix and Washington finally starting the teardown? Who would have guessed they hired two former Thunder front office guys and they've decided to tear it down? Who saw this coming?
Shocker.
Will there ever be a no trade clause again?
No.
I don't think so either. Maybe Wimby. Maybe
Although-
Wimby can pull it off.
I was
someday.
thinking about this because I had the same question. I wonder if the last time Beal was extended, it was, hey, no trade clause or we're walking. I mean,
Could be.
they
He had
probably would have
he
been
had
better
all
off
the
if he had a
leverage.
walk and had a reset years
Probably
ago,
so.
but
Mhm.
at least now they're getting something. So, like, there's always more than we know behind the scenes, but no, I would not imagine that would happen ever again.
It'll be
Terrible.
very, 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 very interesting to see what Phoenix does from here. 3 great pieces and not much else.
The
Wh-
DeAndre Ayton.
DeAndre
disrespect.
Ayton, like,
That's
but
a ton of
I'm
money.
gonna ask the question: is DeAndre Ayton on this team opening night?
I think so.
No.
You think so? I think if you need to build out the rest of your roster, trading DeAndre Ayton's a great way to get some more pieces.
Hey,
If-
you have pending restricted free agent Darius Baisley sitting there.
That'll get you
Starting
a
power
wealth of
forward.
Get
productive
him some
players.
reps.
I think it depends on his value. Like, if you can go get 2, 3, 4 tangible rotation pieces, it's probably in your best interest to do so.
Totally.
If you're going to get Tim Hardaway Jr., Bertans, like, no.
I was
Like,
just
don't-
about to ask, what do you
No.
think Dallas would give?
No.
Is it
like-
bad? I'm kind of
Josh
okay
Green
with
and
that.
10 is Josh Green and 10
I'd
realistic?
almost
for your
rather
second?
have
I
that.
think that's way too much value for Ayton right now.
That-
I was
Nothing
gonna
is
say-
valued
my
very
point.
high.
That's my point.
Expirings and contributors.
If
like,
Phoenix can get value for Ayton, absolutely. If they can't,
Yeah.
carry him into the season, see if you can improve the trade value. Someone will get desperate at the deadline. I think they're going to go I would call it the Lakers way, but it's really the LeBron way. As much high-level talent as you can. You have no depth, so you rely on veterans that are 34 and above on minimum deals. You can't play any defense. You wonder why 37-year-old guy out of his prime can't guard a 21-year-old in the playoffs. And then you're like, man, we should have probably had some more depth in defense. But
Well, thank goodness none of the Suns' top guys have injury histories. That'd be a rough strategy.
yeah,
very healthy players.
I think the three of them over the past 3 years, Beal's averaged like 50 games a season. KD's averaged like 47 and Book's averaged like 62. I also saw this stat. The big four, even though Justin slandered Ayton earlier, the big four, I'm just calling them the big four because it's the contracts, through the 2027-2028 season or the 2026-2027 season, one of the two, they are owed $750 million.
That's wild.
Here's a question on the injury history. Let's pretend Chris Paul ends up on the Clippers. The big three is Chris Paul, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. Which big three between Phoenix and the LA Clippers next season, if you had to put money on it in Vegas, plays more games?
Phoenix.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean,
Face. We're gonna clip that.
I'm almost.
We're gonna
I'm
clip
almost.
that in post production.
Yeah.
You could convince me pretty easily that there's a secret clause in Kawhi Leonard's contract that he only has to play one game a week. You could convince me.
That's what I was going to say. Is it probably maybe
Player
wouldn't
gets
even be injuries with the Clippers. It's just by choice. or
Kawhi has
design.
unlimited
That's what I
PTO.
was thinking.
Yeah.
Also, like, I know Books had injuries. I don't know. I still think he'll play plenty. And then hopefully KD. I mean, they've been unrelated injuries for Kevin Durant, so
Yeah.
we'll see. I would still gamble, I think, on Phoenix, but still, it's.
I do
I
think a
don't
lot
feel
of
great about it.
a lot of Beal's missed games are probably late season. Like, I wonder if we actually went and looked at the 82 game season and looked at where he missed.
It's a good
If, like,
point.
A
He
bunch of
could
it's
have come
probably at
back.
the end. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yep.
Typical Thunder stuff.
Speaking of Chris and the Clippers, we got to move on to more slop. But I was thinking today, after the trade went through, I don't know how you make the salaries match up. This would be difficult. But a trade between the Clippers and the Wizards that sent both Chris and Kristaps to the Clippers would actually make some sense.
Interesting.
Could be like a Norm Powell, Robert
Clippers very
Covington,
good.
something like that.
With what money?
That's what I'm saying. I
Eric
don't know how you make the
Gordon.
salaries match because
Don't
that's
bring
like
backs
Covington.
into this.
that's $60 million to match. That's a
Yeah.
ton of money.
Mhm.
But I think Chris
Matt
Paul
here.
and Porzingis would fit in
Yeah.
LA with the Clippers.
Yeah.
I also think the Clippers could still bring Russell Westbrook back as well.
I've got a Porzingis trade for later in the show, just to tease the listeners a bit.
Is it Porzingis for pick number 3?
Good God. That
That's
had to
what
been
Twitter told me.
That was either a typo or a BS aggregation.
All right, more slop. Silva, give me the slop sounder.
You might say it's a little sloppy.
According to Jake Fisher of Yahoo Sports, the Atlanta Hawks and the Dallas Mavericks have discussed a John Collins and pick 15 for Davis Bertans and pick 10 trade, but there's no traction there. Dallas wants Clint Capella instead of John Collins.
John
Weird.
Collins trade rumors are like becoming a groundhog level myth at this point that I'm tired of seeing every year. That's all I
Dude's
have to say.
value is
Is
tanking
that
because
value
nobody-
really that low? Like,
I mean,
you'd prefer Capella over him?
what happens first? John Collins gets traded or Mitchich comes and plays for the Thunder?
God, don't.
Oh no.
People have been tweeting that name on the internet recently, and I'm just getting like perpetually more pissed off. He signed a new NBA agent.
He's still out there.
You know what? I don't give a shit.
Just won a championship. Hey, that
He's
gets a
gonna be
lot of retweets and
64
likes.
years
though.
old.
Yeah.
What are our thoughts on this swap? Is this
Fine.
I think that the Mavs, I think it's less of a slander on John Collins. The Mavs want a real big. They've done this thing for a few years now where they just don't have a real 5. They don't need the guy to even be like a primary scorer. Just go gobble up 10, 12, 14 rebounds, score 8 to 12 points, double machine. You're good. And that's exactly what Capella is. He's not going to be this flashy John Collins. I'm going to put you on a poster, step back 3, do what I can't do. He's going to go do his job.
And do we assume Atlanta just takes Lively if they in this situation?
I almost think they wouldn't take Lively and they would
Okongwu.
start
You're right.
Okongwu.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
I just want
If
the Collins
I
saga
was
to be over.
Dallas, I'd just not do this trade and take Lively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you think Dallas is actually going to make the right decision?
No.
You've got so much pressure to
I mean,
be
Nick
good
says
now.
they need a traditional big. Like, did they not just go spend like $10 million a year for JaVale McGee because they thought that was a good plan?
Golly.
Hey, he's a
They did,
champion.
didn't they?
Ugh.
Championship pedigree, Silva.
All right,
Incredible.
next piece of slop. Jake Fisher says OKC is a team that would consider trading down in this draft. just so we're all on the same page, Woj has said OKC will trade up. Fisher has said OKC could trade down. Gavoni has said OKC probably has made a promise. I think the only thing we haven't heard is that OKC is trading out. So which one is
I
it,
am
boys?
here to report tonight.
Oh boy.
I think wording is everything, though. I think what Fisher said was rival teams believe the Thunder could be willing to trade back,
Shocking.
Correct.
which was aggregated, and then that tweet was aggregated
Correct.
and turned into Oklahoma City is one of the teams willing to trade down.
We've talked about this. We just didn't use those words, right? Sam Presti is going to get his guy. Sam Presti's big board probably looks different than every other team's big board. Every team's big board is unique. Regardless of what, the Ringer and ESPN and the Athletics big boards look like, that's not how teams work. Presti's going to get his guy. If he can do it at 18 and get an extra asset, why wouldn't you do that? Will it be annoying and I'll be punching my computer? Probably. But it means that he can get his guy there. It's not that, there's not some weird other motive to it. It's just, why not get the most that you can for the guy that you want?
Totally agree. I don't see a trade back in the sense that like people are talking, trade 12 to get the 2 Brooklyn picks or to get the 2 Utah picks. You're not bringing in 2 more rookies.
Nope.
Like they already traded off 37, which, interestingly enough, still no official word on that trade. I think they're waiting until draft night. I think they're going to do that trade on draft night because if you wait till after the pick is made and after the draft is over, then that 2029 Denver pick just has 1 more year of protections on it. You can keep kicking it down the road. I think that's what they're going to do. But I don't see them getting like, what's the Utah pick, 16 and like 24 or some shit like that.
Unless you just plan on punting 50, selling it for cash considerations.
I think 50 is going to be like a stash guy or a 2-way because you got 3 2-ways now,
Why not punt that one and take both your rookies or first rounders?
But are you going to put a first rounder on a 2-way deal? Like, I'm just saying, I don't know. I think they like the
right.
guys that are on the roster
Roster.
now.
Exactly.
They're going to let a guy walk, probably Dario Saric.
Or you let Lindy Waters go play somewhere else.
That's
and you
true.
bring in a guy you like. Like to Justin's point, if Brooklyn has 21 and 22, whatever it is, and there's 2 guys Presti loves,
in the same tier.
there's plenty of guys that I think you're comfortable saying, sorry, man, we just don't have room for you.
That was kind of my thing is like, if you're at 12 and you think there's a similar tier of players from 12 to 16, 12 to Nick's point 21, like, yeah, if you can get a guy you still are comfortable with, still high on your draft board or in comparison to who you would have taken at 12 and still get additional assets, you absolutely should do that 10 times out of 10. But the other thing, I think Justin nailed this on the head, is I think these are rival teams speculating. This is obviously not sources saying this to Jake Fisher from the Thunder. And they're speculating that because Presti listens to all trades where there's other GMs in the league who just immediately shut those conversations down. And then finally, the last thing I had here is that the Thunder love throwing out smoke. They tell some teams they're willing to trade back for more assets like this while exploring possibilities to trade up with other teams, which we haven't heard for very specific reasons. And so they'll do their due diligence. They'll lay them all out on a board. They'll rank them and then proceed from there, depending on how the draft plays out, right? So again, just because we've heard this quote unquote report doesn't mean the Thunder are looking to trade up as much as they are to potentially trade back and consolidate assets.
I've got a question for you guys real quick. In thinking about all this trade up, trade back, stay put, trade out, whatever, we've talked about it on this show before. You're not building an entire trade in the 5 minutes that a team is on the clock. Once you're like, oh my God, Taylor Hendricks is there at 9. Call Utah. Hey, do you want to talk about a trade and start building it? Like, you have to have the frameworks already in place. Like, I just logically, I think that's a thing. Do you think NBA GMs on draft night all have like, I don't know, a secret channel where they all talk? That way they know what's almost like you're like fantasy draft.
They're all in a
Like
Discord.
Where like
cell phone?
Yeah, like a Discord or a Slack. Where like
this weird way where you can just like message somebody that is across
no, I'm
the
saying,
country.
do you think like they're all like in
You
a
could
chat
talk
in like
to
a
them,
group
hear their
chat?
voice.
And it like
NBA cool dudes.
someone is saying like, hey, we're going to take this guy next. And so everyone else can start working their deals. Like
just a private subreddit.
Or is it just a whole bunch of back channeling?
Yes. It is like the lower level front office scout folks that are talking to the other low level scout folks that are getting intel back and forth, and then you got to feed that info up.
It's
and
like
it's all like,
Moneyball.
we actually trust this.
It's the Jonah Hill character.
I haven't seen Moneyball.
What? Jake,
I've seen about 25 minutes of it on TikTok.
that's all you need. That gets the point across.
I just think it's
a GM app though. That's a great idea.
We should make that.
Oh, hey, I'm interested in Zion. Anybody? What do you guys want for him?
It's almost like a Facebook marketplace, but for like players.
eBay,
a
put your bids
Craigslist
in.
post.
We're on the clock.
PJ Tucker's looking for his next home.
All right, just a little bit more slop as we move on here. Kobe Buffkin, Bilal Coulibaly, and Derek Lively have all been moving up draft boards, and most of the big draft guys like Gavoni or Vicini are saying that those are three names that could go in the lottery.
All three of them to OKC, obviously.
Hey, they promised all three of them at the same time.
I hope
Interesting.
Buffkin goes top 11. That would just be fantastic.
If those three guys go in the lottery, that means three lottery guys are getting pushed out of the lottery.
Right.
Yeah. That's my point.
Which is wild.
I
So
love
if you had to
that.
choose three lottery guys that don't go lottery, who is it?
Grady
I
Dick.
think Grady Dick's
Yeah.
one.
Oh, Justin, of course. You had to bring
I
him.
couldn't wait.
That's the one.
I couldn't wait.
Ready. It depends what you think about Case and Wallace.
Yeah. Maybe if Kobe goes
Oh,
top
another good one.
like lottery, then it probably pushes out a guard like Kaysen.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, I know he was mentioned here, but like Derek Lively, if a Kobe Buffkin or Coulibaly does jump in the lottery, I see a Lively sliding back, even though there's all this hype, this recent hype. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't completely buy that.
Can I throw out a name? And I know Nick's like the big draft guy here, so he's probably going to get offended. But I'm just going to throw out a name. What about Asar Thompson?
Spicy.
Is there a chance he just slides?
Spicy.
I think there's a chance he goes at 6, but in theory, I mean that's the thing with these polarizing prospects is if there's a team that makes a ton of sense at 6 that doesn't take him at 6, then maybe 7, 8, 9 have no interest in that archetype and he falls to 10. Or maybe the team that would take him at 10, the Mavs, they trade out and it's to a team that's looking for a big and they take light. You never know.
Yeah.
But
And it just takes one team, like we found out with Josh Giddey. Josh was mocked like 11, 12, 13. But when the Thunder found out that Golden State was going to take him at 7, they had to take him at 6. You know? So it's interesting. Bilal Coulibaly apparently has sent measurements
Long
over
boy.
to probably the only acceptable
Big old
time,
dude.
like socially acceptable time for a man to measure himself and send those images to other people.
To a prospective employer.
Measurements came out good. He's 6'8" with a 7'2" wingspan, some big old hands. The video of them measuring him
You know what they
was-
say about big old hands.
Come on.
was interesting, and it got me thinking: should we do that?
Go on.
Like 4 of the 5 of us will
The
be at
uncontested
summer league.
combine.
Should we do an
We're doing
uncontested
wingspan.
combine and we'll all measure our heights and our wingspans and our hand sizes and all?
Sounds great.
I think we should do it. I think it'd be
I
fun.
think Justin
You
will
guys-
win
that
every
would be
category,
fun.
but
You
sure.
guys should do it for sure. You guys.
I think
you
Silva
guys-
might win biggest positive wingspan.
I think so.
Yeah.
Silva's got some long arms.
I don't have that
I
category.
found this out
unlocked.
whenever we were in Vegas last year, and this man slept like he is in his coffin.
Oh yes, yes,
I did.
yes.
Where
Jacob,
Where else am I gonna put him?
those measurements, God, those measurements remind me a lot of a guy who I know you're very fond of. He was a Phoenix Sun that's now in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I mean he does definitely have the Mikal Bridges size.
You are out on Coulibaly, at least as of last week. I know things change quickly.
How much does this arm length change things for
Well,
you?
no. How much does the potential comp, now that you know his measurements, because Mikhail, like your big knock on him, I think, is like the feel, the facilitation, like the make things happen. We didn't think Mikhail could do that until he was the guy in Brooklyn, and you're like, oh wow, like he can do more than like Koulibaly is a very, very boxed in role player at Mets 92, or was, because their season's over. Does seeing his measurements and thinking about that comparison change your opinion at all?
Not a whole lot. I mean, it's impressive, but I know Presti loves size for position. He's just not my guy. Now, if they draft him at 12, that would be at, what, about 7:45 on Thursday? Give me to like 10:30.
After a few
all
YouTube
in.
videos.
Yeah.
Jacob will
about
be
8:10.
buying a Metropolitan's 92 Koulibaly jersey by 11 p.m.
That'd actually be kind of dope.
And we should do Metropolitan ice cream sandwiches, t-shirts.
You mean
But with that
Neapolitan?
death metal font.
That's the point. That's the
Oh,
point.
okay.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm slow. Catch me up.
Well,
I think that's all the slop I wanted to go through.
On that note, well,
Let's get to the fun stuff. Let's talk Thunder trades.
All right, we will do that
Still working through
right
my trades.
on the other side of this break. All right, we are back. Gentlemen, before we dive into the trades, the meat of the podcast, just real quick, I wanted to go through not a lot of context, but this is the last time that we're probably all going to be on this podcast before the Thunder make a draft selection. Or the draft is officially on, I guess. So I want us to all get on record now. We're all going to give one guy that is a trade up guy that we want. You can't say Wemby, you can't say Scoot, you can't say Brandon Miller. I think we are all in agreement they're not getting top 3. So a trade up guy between 4 and 11, a guy you'd like them to take if they stay at 12, and a trade back guy if they slid back to 17, 18, whatever. Sound good? Let's start with your trade up guy, Tayler.
I mean, Jarris Walker probably tops the list for a lot of the reasons you mentioned, Jacob. I know the outside shot particularly is still work in progress, but there's a lot of things to be excited about there. I mean, obviously just like his size, athleticism, and then he is a really great playmaker and connector, something we talked a lot about with this team. Obviously we have the Poku nectar joke, but there are a lot of players on this team that I don't know. I think he could fit in seamlessly in that regard, but also possesses a lot more offensively as well in terms of creating his own shot, being able to bully down low, and the idea of him and Chet both down low, kind of covering for each other in regards to protecting the rim defensively. And I don't know. I think it could be really exciting and a lot of fun. Could be a lot of fun highlights, especially with some of our playmakers like J-Dub, Giddey, and Shea. So that would probably be my first one, but Anthony Black comes in a quick second. I'm curious if any of you guys have him on your list, but I think he just fits in seamlessly in regards to what the Thunder look for, what they've drafted for previously. I talked a lot about this on the previous podcast last week, so I won't go into depth here, but that'd be the second one, I think, right there behind Jarris.
Taylor is incredible at that. Not a lot of context, just the name part of the instructions.
That's not a lot of context for Taylor.
I didn't even hear that. I'm still trying to come
Justin,
up with my trades.
Not a lot of context, just a name. Who was your trade up guy?
In 1976, there was Jarris Walker. It's got to be Jarris Walker. I mean, I think incredible talent, but I think could fit seamlessly on this team.
Nick, who's your guy?
Taylor Hendricks. I know Jacob is a opposite end of the spectrum kind of guy when it comes to this, but I think Oklahoma City is at a point now where they can draft guys that are best off ball. They don't have to have everybody that's able to create, and I think he is the perfect two-way 4 that can slide down to the 3, slide up to the 5, do everything for you off ball, catch and shoot. Perfect fit.
I get Jeremy Grant vibes from him a lot. You guys know my guy is Jarris Walker. I was watching some more Jarris Walker stuff last night. Just his connective passing. Really, he has, I don't know if you guys have seen the play. There's a highlight of Jarris where he gets lobbed alley-oop and he goes up to get it and 2 guys crash on him and he catches the oop and reroutes it to the open guy in the corner for 3. And I'm just like, God damn, put that in my veins, please. Silva, who's your trade up guy?
It's Jarris, but I'm becoming more and more open to Taylor Hendricks as well. I'd be happy with either.
Same.
We all like the bigs moving up, kind of these big forward type guys. Your stay place at 12 guy, Taylor, who is it?
I am still so torn on this.
It's really difficult. There's like a lot.
I know there's I think I'm gonna go Kobe Buffkin here. I'm getting more and more intrigued with the idea of Derek Lively, but Jacob, you've talked a lot about this on previous podcasts. I don't think it's likely, no pun intended, that they would that they would draft him. It just doesn't it does not fit what the Thunder have looked for previously. And Koulibaly is such a project that I just don't think he would have the opportunity to fully develop and reach his full potential like he would in a Toronto or a Utah Jazz team. So for those reasons, I'm going Kobe Buffkin because I like him a lot in this range and think he fits a lot of what Presley would look for in a prospect.
Justin?
I'm going Derek Lively. Suck it, Taylor. I think Lively.
Tall boys represent.
Tall boys represent. I think Lively and the acrobatics and the lob threat that he brings to this team. Like, I don't care that Chet's there too. Porque no los dos. Put him on. I'm in. I'm in on Derek Lively. Now, will he still be there at 12? That we'll find out on draft night.
Nick, who's your stay put at 12 guy?
Koulibaly, similar reasons as Hendricks. I think he's proven he can play a secondary role very, very well. I think the Thunder have a ton of guards and a ton of forwards, but not a lot of wings. I think he's a great fit.
Silva, who's your guy?
Well, it changes by the hour, but at this moment in time, it's Case and Wallace.
I think I'm kind of torn between Kaysen and Buffkin. I think I'm going Kaysen Wallace. Just got that dog in him. Although you can't buy any of the smoke, but somebody said they talked to some prospect who had a workout with Kobe who said he's a bad MFer. And I was like, I want a bad MFer. Put the bad MFer on my team.
The reality is every one of these dudes that are lottery talents are bad MFers. There's a reason they're here.
Would you say Ousmane Dieng is a bad MFer?
I think if you were to go to a workout with Ousmane Dieng, you'd be like, that's a bad MFer.
Yeah.
He's that passive guy in games. But if you had a workout like one of those Hoodie Mellow workouts, he had one last year before the draft.
He's passive.
Just go watch him in the G League, bro.
I don't think
I would like to go work out with Ousmane Dieng and him just to cuss me out.
But that doesn't make him a bad MFer.
Yeah, it does. If you're willing to like cuss somebody out, like Ousmane, punch me, like beat my ass.
You want players that
sounds like a kink.
Oh man,
yeah, that's.
I want to see some fight out of the kid.
Work that out with your therapist, man.
JD, who's your trade back guy?
Oh, it's Leonard Miller. Originally, I was
Lenny Longboy.
Yeah, he keeps sliding back in drafts, and I'm not a draft expert, so I follow their lead. He's sliding back, so he is, and I liked him at 12 initially, but if the Gavonis and Vicinis of the world think he is better later on in the lottery, I'd be cool with that.
Nick, who's your trade back guy?
His teammate Sissoko.
Nick just wants the French guys.
Maybe so. He's always been a defensive prospect, so you can hang your hat on if he doesn't work out offensively. He at least has some upside defensively. He's grown a bunch. He's like 6'8" in shoes now, super long wingspan, improved 3-point shot, and nobody talks about the fact that he's a really, really good passer. So I think he checks the boxes.
Justin?
This is both a prediction and a backhanded comment. Grady Dick.
Oh,
wow.
You like that?
I like that,
Okay,
though.
so you
I like
hate
that a
Grady
lot.
Dick, but if
I
they
hate
traded back
Grady
and got him
Dick.
at 15, you'd be okay.
Exactly. If you can trade back and bring in something else, why not? I'll
Taylor?
get on board. I'll get on board the Dick train at that point.
I think it's the
We'll hop
Wienermobile.
on the-
All right.
No. Did you guys know Oscar Mayer changed the name of the Wienermobile?
What is
To
it?
what?
I saw that.
Now called the Frankmobile.
I don't like it. Why are you
Downgraded.
laughing, Silva? It's not that funny.
Might be
is.
worse.
It is. We had a conversation. We said slop becomes hot dogs earlier, and now we've just come full circle on that conversation.
I'll try and be unique here, and give a name that you all haven't mentioned. I'm not like extremely high in Jordan Hawkins, but I think he is high value for this range. If they were to trade back, I think Hawkins would fit on this team really well. And the other one that I don't know, I just continue to be intrigued by as he's rose draft boards through the pre-draft process and the combine is Olivier Maxence Prosper. I think he is a player who could fit really well with this team. Offense, still a question mark, particularly from outside, but man, he has impressive length and is a really good defensive prospect and high basketball IQ, which we know Presti looks for. So those are probably the two I'd be looking at.
I'm with JD. Give me Lenny Longboy.
I like it. I'd be down for Lenny.
Well,
All right. Any other
Some of
thoughts
these
there?
comments are unhinged.
I
by the
know,
way.
I can't-
Shout out
like,
to the comment
Our
section.
chat is off the rails.
I can't keep a straight face.
No, I can't.
I love it. The degenerates are out tonight.
Yep.
They're out for blood. All right, we're going to take another break. On the other side, we are going to trade every pick in the NBA draft lottery. All right, we are back. Gentlemen, we all love to talk about NBA draft trades. Apparently, if you listen to the slop, pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, pick 5, pick 7, pick 9, pick 10, pick 12, all available on draft night. So I got this deranged idea that we should trade all of them. Redo the lottery order, trade every lottery pick. So for the remainder of the podcast, that is our task. With one exception, we're not trading pick number 1. We know they're not trading 1B. It's not happening. If you called and offered like Shea, Chet, Dub, and every single first round pick, would they say yes?
They would not.
No.
Do you think they'd think about it for a little bit?
They would not.
Shea, Chet, and Dub.
They've already started printing
Yikes.
out shirts and like no.
I saw that he signed a Spurs jersey, a custom made Spurs 1B
That's
jersey over
awesome.
in France, which is pretty cool.
It's cool.
All right. We are trading every single lottery pick. It can be trades within the lottery, like pick 9 and pick 5 swap. It could be somebody from outside the lottery trading up into the lottery, but we're going to get new teams in each spots, starting at the top. Pick number 2, Charlotte Hornets, who are now about to be under new majority ownership. I wish I could buy something and then sell it for like 200 times value. That would be nice. What are our thoughts here? How are we trading pick number 2? Are we going just the Zion Williamson or the Brandon Ingram package here?
So, clarification question. This exercise is not just the Thunder trading for 2?
Correct.
No,
We're just
this
trading
is-
every single lottery pick.
Glad I
That's why I'm having
put
trouble.
myself through the stress of making a trade for the Thunder on every single one of these. Hey, why don't you guys do the league wide
Make it
and
like
I'll do a
Chad.
Thunder one?
We can use some teamwork here and work on each one. I
Teamwork.
think
Makes
Yeah,
the dream
and
work.
chat, get in here as well and help us
Yeah.
out. I think the most realistic one for 2 is the New Orleans Pelicans trade of like
That's the one.
BI 14. And do you have to throw something else in? Is it like
don't-
BI 14 and
Future pick.
it could be a future pick. Why am I going blank? Who was the guard they took last year?
Dyson.
Oh,
Dyson Daniels?
Dyson Daniels.
Dyson Daniels.
Like does
yeah.
BI Dyson and 14 get them to 12 or get them to 2?
Oh, I was under the impression BI solo.
BI
Yeah.
and 14 or just BI?
BI.
I kinda
If
think
I'm Charlotte, I wouldn't do it for just
That's
BI.
a no for me, dog.
What's your
probably
reasoning for that?
CB.
I'm curious.
team. I also think Zion.
I think number 2 is really, really valuable in this draft, and I want more.
Are you assuming it's Scoot at 2 or Brandon Miller?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. If you want
Scoot.
2 that bad, you got to give up the goods, buddy.
Scoot is who I'm thinking of.
also
though.
Scoot.
I would take Scoot as well.
I think
BI
it's
is really
Scoot
damn
and then-
good.
BI
He
is
is.
very
And he's
good.
like 26.
I couldn't believe how young he was.
That's I mean, I know it's always really easy pre-draft for like because you always have this hypothetical upside. like there's also a chance on the Charlotte side they draft a guy that doesn't end up being anything. Like they've got some PTSD from James
This is
Booknight.
true.
Like you're telling me you don't want a guy that's proven?
That's very fair.
You know?
My vote is for pick number 2. We do BI and 14.
I think that's a good compromise.
So no
What-
Zion.
Yeah, I had Zion, Gordon Hayward, Dennis Smith Jr.
I think
It's
Charlotte
like-
would prefer BI over Zion.
I agree.
I think they probably would too, but I don't know.
Do you guys view Gordon Hayward as a negative asset they have to attach or as a positive
Yes.
asset? Okay.
A negative asset.
He also is expiring, so that
All right, am I
That's
punching this in?
Punch it.
Punch it in.
14 and
Draft
BI.
raw.
So this is going to not Portland. I'm sorry, New Orleans, and they are going to take Scoot.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, we just traded 2 lottery picks because now 14
Wow.
instead belongs to Charlotte. We'll make their pick later on in the show whenever
Wait,
we're down to 14.
Are we carrying all this stuff through?
Oh, what?
Jacob.
What do you mean? Yeah,
Oh my
He's
gosh.
keeping track.
Can't
we got to trade every single
re-trade
one of
them.
them.
He's
Oh my
keeping track.
God.
It's fine.
Okay, so let's okay, we talk Thunder at the end of every one of these.
yeah.
Do it.
Sure.
You're gonna hate all of them because everyone's in love with the guys that are on their own
that's
on their own roster. But what I think it would actually take is shouldn't be drinking your drink. J-Dub, Trey Mann, and a future top 8 protected pick for Gordon Hayward and pick 2.
I think that's very reasonable for both teams.
I think that's a reasonable ask. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
obviously.
right. Yeah. I'm not
That's
saying
Nick's
these are
point.
not
That's Nick's
listing
point.
a trade that I'd love to do with every team, but I think that's what it would
If
take.
the
as a
Thunder
starter.
were to make an offer for this pick, I agree. That's probably what it would take. Dort and
I almost
throw
think it'd
in
take a little more than
plethora of
that.
Picks.
I agree.
Really?
I agree. Probably to throw in 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. I
You
hated
might
it.
even went.
You're gonna hate all of them because they're
Thanks.
Thunder.
Do you have any more for 2 or are we going on?
Move it.
Now we can go on.
Pick 3 belongs to the Portland Trail Blazers. What is the trade?
I've got one for you.
I'm ready.
I'm gonna see if my screen will share.
Oh
'cause
boy.
it's a big
Oh.
one.
It's gonna be
Oh, my.
multimedia.
It
Multimedia
is.
Nick back at it again.
Yeah, but I didn't do any real work to put this together.
Here it is.
We got the Prezi. Oh my God, I can't even read that.
How do I zoom in on it? Hold on.
What is this? A screenshot
Goodness.
for ants?
Here we go. Okay,
It's
so
a
it's a
lot.
3-teamer.
Oh
with the
my.
Thunder, the Blazers, and the Pacers. Okay. The
Why
Thunder
is
get
this exercise so complicated?
the Thunder get 3 and 7 in this deal.
Okay.
Good
Okay.
grief.
I'm
the
liking it so
Thunder-
far.
The Thunder are giving up Dort, Joe, Poku, 12, and 2 future first rounders.
Oh shit, yeah. Do it. Sign it.
Okay.
Send it
okay.
in, Presty.
Okay, hold
This
on,
is
hold
like
on.
NBA 2K GM.
So I want you to tell me which team would say no. Blazers are giving up 3, Nurkic and Simons. So a good chunk, but they're getting back Miles Turner, Buddy Hield, Lou Dort, Isaiah Joe, Chris Duarte.
Hey, they're gonna lose in the first round.
Well, I mean, they're upgrading center from Nurkic to Turner.
Yeah,
They're
No,
giving up
makes sense.
they're giving up Simons, but getting back a bunch of good guards.
And good contracts.
Right.
It's
So
a lot
I
of
think
good
that
depth.
for the Pacers, they're pretty much giving up 7, the Buddy Miles duo that's been on the block forever, and Duarte. But in return, they're getting Simons, who I think is a good young player to be next to Halliburton. They're getting Poku. They're getting 12, so it's moving back from 7 to 12. 2 future first rounders, and they're taking on Nurk.
I think the Pacers say no.
I agree.
What more do
I
they
have
need, do you
party
think?
pooper if I say all these teams say no because
No, because it would never happen.
right.
I don't know what more.
I don't know if I love this.
For the Thunder?
I,
You're telling me you wouldn't give up Lou Dort, Isaiah Joe, who they signed on a minimum last year,
yeah.
Poku, who's about to need a new contract, and a couple of decent first round picks for 3 and 7.
I would.
Oh
do
yeah, no, I do
I
love
would-
that for
I
the
would certainly
Thunder.
do
I don't know,
that.
it just feels so unrealistic.
Oh, we're on a podcast talking about trading every lottery pick, Taylor.
Don't bring logic into
Yeah,
this.
but mine's actually realistic. Okay.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
It's actually not because I tried to do something that's not the Pelicans because that's what everybody's going to try and do is get the Pelicans trade up to 3. So I went a different route and went with the Utah Jazz because they have a lot of assets and I can see that being a team who honestly should be looking to trade up into the top 2 or 3 and get a franchise player to build around long term in this rebuild. So if they were to do that, in my opinion, they're going to have to move off their quote unquote superstar, who I think is kind of in like a Julius Randle kind of thing where like his value is so high right now. He looks so great, but is he really this guy? I'm not so sure. Lauri Markkanen, their 16th 2023 first round pick. And then like an additional first, I just threw in the 2025 first here just for shits and giggles because, you need something there, placeholder for Anthony Simons in that number 3 pick. So Jazz get basically Scoot Henderson in this situation would be my assumption. I think they only
Scoot's already off the board. He got taken at 2.
Oh,
He's gone, Taylor.
wait, we
I
actually
think
have to,
Markkanen's untouchable regardless
Dang
who's on the
it.
board.
Brandon Miller's still
Yeah,
like a
but
pretty good
I
fit.
don't know if
I
that's
think
right.
I like your framework here, Taylor, but I think it takes Markkanen and 9 to get to 3, not
Yeah.
Markkanen and 16 or 17 or whatever it was.
And then an additional first.
I think that might
scratch
get
the
it done.
first? Okay.
I think, like, hot take, I think that
I forgot we took Scoot.
they could call Utah and say 3 for Markkanen straight up, and Utah would say no.
I could see it, but
Markkanen's their Shea.
Yeah. No, I get it. I
Yeah,
definitely get it. I just
but
don't know.
I think I'd still do
right.
it.
Yeah, I'm sure that Jazz fans are saying Shea was a blip this season. It's not going to be able to maintain this. They'd trade him for 3. Markkanen is like
Also,
Utah's
Danny
savior.
Ainge.
also Danny.
Danny, he's willing
Well,
to
the
gamble.
Utah one's the leader in the clubhouse right now because that's the only not insanely convoluted, need a microscope to read the trade machine transcript one we have so far.
Okay, so we probably should go ahead and discuss then the Pelicans.
The Pelicans already made the trade, Taylor.
Oh,
Where
wait,
have you been?
but I thought we were going pick by pick, not like literally
Carries
like, this is
over,
our mock
apparently.
draft.
He's
It
doing
carries
holistically.
over.
Draft
He's
where
doing
everything-
holistically.
He's writing fan.
I thought we're going pick by pick, not like
It's-
this is
it
the
is
What
too.
this is the
about-
mock draft where we trade everything.
Here's an off the wall one. Minnesota. Minnesota gets involved
With what
And-
Get to
picks?
3?
for pick 3
You doing the cat thing?
Say it,
by
Justin.
sending out Cat.
Do it.
I think
Hell,
Portland
do it.
says
I
hell
hang
no.
up. I hang up the phone.
I think it has to be Ant.
Cat and Dame both make 60 mil here in a few years.
That ain't no problem.
Hey, Cat's changed the game forever.
Oh my
That's it.
goodness. His play-in win was bigger than the Nuggets championship.
Exactly.
Yeah,
What
put
if
a
we
price on
keep
that.
what if we keep Nick's framework and we go just Pacers and Blazers slide back 4 spots.
Wait,
For what?
That's
And
interesting.
they pick up Miles Turner. They pick up Benedict Mathurin.
Ooh,
Miles
that's a
Turner, Ben
lot.
Math, and 7 for
What about
3.
we're
No.
Duarte instead of Matt?
Duarte.
If I'm Portland, I have no interest in Chris Duarte.
He's a cheap wing. I just don't think Mathurin. That feels like
They're
a
not
lot.
giving up Mathurin. No way.
Yeah,
No way.
What's the middle
boy.
ground between Duarte and Mathurin then?
I think it's Buddy Hield and
Nembhard?
Miles Turner, but that's like $60 million they can't bring in, which is why I had to bring in Oklahoma City Thunder to facilitate this trade.
I'll take that. That's a fair point.
Bring Matt
And also
into
get the
this.
Thunder the 2 picks.
Yes, of course.
In a completely unbiased manner.
Yeah, I mean, Jacob, you're going to be so pissed when they bring in Scoot Henderson and Jarris Walker, and then this trade is so dumb.
Even I'm on
Portland
Poku for those two.
Oh my
Just unacceptable.
If Portland called OKC, Scoot's off the board. The next best available is Brandon Miller. If Portland
I
called
would love that.
and just said Chet for 3,
No,
No.
No.
yeah, just making sure.
Good grief.
I'm on team hell
Get
no.
outta here.
I would make the same hypothetical proposal that they did for Evan Mobley, which was like Dort and every single pick you could ever ask for.
Yeah, I don't think
I
Portland's
would do
interested
that.
in that.
But
No.
that's the issue. Exactly.
Charlotte should consider that, but they won't.
So what's the trade we're going with?
Taylor's
do,
awesome trade.
Well, we could do Nick's trade that looked like a detective trying to figure out who the Zodiac killer was. Because I don't have any. It's not like I have anything. I
Good
was
luck
hoping-
capturing all the implications of that
I was
trade. in your
hoping
stupid
Scoot-
little
Yeah,
document,
Jacob,
Jake.
type that out in your
I thought we were
spreadsheet,
going
partner.
pick by
What?
pick.
Oh, you're crazy. Yeah.
I was hoping Scoot would be there.
It's going to be a
You know what I mean?
6-hour podcast.
No
Oh,
shit.
Jake,
We gotta move.
we're-
I say we go with the Utah and Markkanen, but that's just me.
Sure,
Maybe-
why not?
Maybe okay. Let's have fun here. Hold on, let's have fun here.
Are you not having fun already,
We
Nick?
haven't-
The
We're
Pelicans
50 minutes
trade
in.
Zion for 3.
They get 2 and 3?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
2 and 3 hole.
Why not?
Let's get weird.
Let it rip.
That makes no sense, but
It's easy to type out.
Technically, they're
Yeah,
trading for
you're right.
Zion, his baby
I think
mama.
I think
is
I'd stick
IP.
with Utah. But
Let's do the Utah one.
Okay.
It gets traded to Utah, who takes Brandon Miller because culturally that's a great fit. For what was it, pick 9 and Markkanen. And that means pick 9 is now owned by the Blazers. Pick number 4, Houston.
Yeah, I had one loaded up, but it involves. You know what? It could still happen. This
Okay.
could
All right,
still
let's
happen
hear it.
because technically Scoot is still there. So the Rockets are trading Jalen Green and 4 for Scoot.
Oh, they're moving up to 2.
Yes,
That's kind of fun
they've finally
Jalen
opened their
Green.
eyes to the
What
real
how?
world.
to
What do you
trade
mean
up
now? I don't
to
know.
2. Huh.
Jalen Green for 2 spots?
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's Charlotte, Nick.
Yeah, trade
I'm
on
extremely
Zion supply.
biased against Houston. I don't know if Jalen Green's
Yeah.
that great.
I
I think
had
he's good. I don't know if he's great.
I again just kind of throwing stuff out there, doing this on the fly. But KPJ and then salary. So throw in your $2 million contract, whether it's Garuba or whoever it may be. So KPJ salary filler, the 4th overall pick for OG. Is that way too much for OG? There's a part of me that feels like it is, but that also is probably what's.
I
going
think
to
that's
take-
what Toronto thinks OG is
Yeah.
worth.
Yeah,
Right, right.
Yeah, Toronto's insane.
And
have
also,
another-
Houston's a team that's like probably would do it.
Yeah. I've got number 4 for Trey Mann, Usman Jang, 12, and Houston's pick next year back.
See, I think that
I'd do that in a heartbeat.
that makes
I
sense.
don't know if Houston would.
Right, because it's not a win now trade. I think it makes sense.
But
for
they don't have
them.
to win now if they have their pick back.
Right?
Well,
That kind of changes everything for them. That kind of opens doors B and C. They don't have just door
That's-
A anymore.
no, I agree
Yeah.
completely. It's just
I think
the
for this
Houston
one,
Rockets.
Houston has to get a win now piece.
right.
I think the
though that's not-
OG
Usman
or
Jang, isn't that what
Pascal
Dylan
Siakam
Brooks is going to be in free agency?
Oh my god.
I mean, I would argue getting your pick back means you don't have to waste your money on Dylan Brooks in free agency and James Harden in
I'm
free agency. And
I don't think that's the
I'm
reason.
agreeing.
I don't think getting those guys is like, oh, we have to get them because we might OKC our pick. I think it's just
why else would
their
they do it?
orner is incredibly short-sighted and
It's Petita.
says,
yes, exactly.
well, it's time to win now. So change the plans.
Exactly. Nick, I agree with you 110%, but I'm with Jacob. It's for
Yeah, I
Tia,
don't think
it's
the
Rockets.
pick is what is motivating them to do this.
They don't care about
like in the
championship.
slightest.
They care about revenue.
So who's
Yeah.
who's
Just go
another
from
win
shit
now
to
guy?
good.
Who's another win now guy for them that they could trade for 4?
Jalen Brown.
Honestly, I don't think Boston does that. I think Boston
No.
just wants to run it back.
So either, but there is that connection there.
I think the Toronto one is good. If we go OG or Pascal,
Yeah, Pascal's honestly another good one there instead of OG.
Hmm.
Now, what are you giving up in that situation? Like, would you ask for an additional pick from Toronto? Probably.
I think you'd swap picks. You 14
Yeah,
and Siakam for
Yep.
4.
I like that. That works. And then Kevin Porter
does
Jr.
work.
for salary matching purposes.
Or
It
they
doesn't
could
need to
just wait
happen.
to do this after the new calendar.
14 and who?
Siakam.
Siakam.
Or 14 and OG. I don't care. They're interchangeable to me.
Who has 14?
Toronto.
Raptors.
They have 13.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I was like, where was there a trade I missed? Okay.
No, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Try to keep up.
I
Meh.
feel like the Rockets should never, ever, ever do that, and the
I
Toronto
agree.
Raptors should do it yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's a good trade.
For time purposes, are we doing
Yes.
OG or are we doing
Skip it.
Siakam?
Siakam.
I can't wait till we
Siakam.
tweet out the results of this and people don't listen to the
Like
pod and
you-
realize every one of these was for time's sake. Let's just do it. They're gonna
Yes.
think we're all idiots.
Well, they won't
I definitely
be wrong.
I definitely thought we were doing each pick in a vacuum
I did
and
too.
not like a total mock draft.
Our teacher
Sorry.
Jacob is losing his teaching skills and not giving us good instructions.
2
It's
weeks. I'm
summer
getting
break,
rusty, man.
okay?
We're just trading all the picks, no other detail. Just show up ready.
So we said Siakam, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Detroit at number 5.
I don't like this one.
What do they want from OKC? Is my question to get to
They're
lock in.
interested
Jared.
in like Cam Johnson, but that feels gross.
You can't trade Cam Johnson. He's a
I have
restricted free agent.
one.
I mean, it'd be a sign and trade, and that's gross.
I'm ready. What is it?
It's a 3-teamer.
Oh boy.
It's not the big gotta share my screen kind of trade. It's a framework, so we have to talk about it a little bit. So my idea, because I thought it was all Thunder, was Jazz, Thunder, Pistons, 3-teamer. Okay. The Pistons get 12 from the Thunder and 9 from the Jazz. 5 goes to OKC, and then the Jazz get a Killian Hayes package for their number 9 pick. And then the Pistons also get some first round capital in the future as well. But basically moving from 5 back to 9 and 12.
And the Jazz move off number 9 for Killian Hayes.
Killian Hayes package. Listen to my words. That could be picks. That could be their players. They want a
I would have
guard.
said a pick package.
I'd rather have a
for
cardboard
Killian
cutout
Hayes.
of Killian Hayes. than
Did you
Killian
watch
Hayes.
the Pistons last year?
Yeah, he's awful. He can't score
Until
like,
the end
to
of the
save his
season.
life.
The end of the season, doesn't
Killian
count,
Hayes was a lot better last year than he's been in the past.
which still wasn't good.
Yeah, but these people like writing off Killian Hayes as a 21-year-old when he was not bad last year.
I mean, sure, but
Not worth
relative
the-
to where he
not
was
worth that
drafted,
pick. It'd have to be a heck of a package.
Yes.
So you're going to take a guy at number 9 that could end up being nothing.
Yes.
Yes.
Because that
Okay.
describes
That's about Killian Hayes.
Well, you guys didn't watch the Pistons last year then. I think
did.
Pistons fans would
That's
listen to
the end.
this and say, hell no, I'm not trading Killian Hayes for 9.
Disagree. I think they would.
I
do that
hard
in a
disagree with that.
Okay.
Just because he played well at the end of the season, when everybody
Nick?
was.
Nick
He started
standing another
56
French
games.
player.
What do you mean into the season? Did
Darius
you, watch the
Baisley
Pistons?
started for 2 seasons.
Did you watch the Pistons last year?
He is.
Did you answer the
very
question? Did you
not
watch
good.
the Pistons or do you see Killian Hayes getting shit on Twitter and just think he sucks?
No, I saw his
I see what
stats.
Killian Hayes.
So you didn't
Field
watch
goal
the game, you saw the
percentages.
stats. Killian
We-
Hayes is not the Killian Hayes we saw a year and a half, 2 years ago. He's getting
Sure.
better.
I think he's also not a top 10
About the
pick.
slow trajectory though for like
Okay.
this.
I think
pick.
there's a better chance Killian Hayes is out of the league in 3 years than getting traded for a number 9 pick.
Then you haven't
I-
watched Killian Hayes last year.
I don't
I'll
think
leave it
Killian
at
Hayes.
that.
I don't
Be a
think
nice-
Killian Hayes
be
is very good at
net
all.
brewing here between Jacob and
I
Nick.
love this.
I mean, arguing when you haven't watched him play, it's like, what do you want me to say?
I think it's more of his perceived value and what he would actually get traded for around the league is probably.
I mean, if you can trade Killian Hayes for 9, trade
Again, it was a package.
Trade for like 12.
Killian Hayes and 3 first-round picks. You keep saying Killian Hayes straight up for 9. That was never the deal.
Well, then I would word it as a picks package that has the Killian
Okay,
Killian
Hayes.
not the word picks. I said a
attached to it.
Killian Hayes package. Forgot the word picks. There we go. We're good.
Matching salary. Yeah.
Touche. Any
Well,
other
we-
trades for Detroit?
No.
No,
I mean,
I did-
no.
Is there anybody outside of the lottery to trade into the lottery at this point? Because we haven't had one of those yet.
Not with Detroit.
Yeah, not with Detroit.
All of our trades so far have been lottery pick swap for lottery picks.
I think the teams at the top have enough incentive to stay in the lottery at this point.
I agree.
JD brought up the Boston trade.
Yeah,
earlier?
I've been trying to cook some Boston stuff up.
That I don't think they're going to move off Jalen. Like, I think their mindset is they're rebuilding the coaching staff, and they're, for all the bad that we perceived Boston last year, like they were in a game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals to be repeat finals, like contenders, right? Like not contenders, but finals participants.
And then we saw a team with consistency win it all. So that's what they should do, is keep it consistent.
Yeah, totally agree. Is there another Boston-like team that can trade in here? Or do we not think so?
I mean, if you go through like the contenders, like the Clippers, do we think they don't really have any assets that these teams at the top?
We own them all.
Right. Right.
I also don't think a contender expects to draft a rookie, albeit a top 5 rookie, to come in and like make a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
It does
That's
get a
fair.
little more interesting to the new CBA, but no, I
It has
agree
to be a
completely.
contender that wants to like get a little younger and offload some salary. That's kind of the incentive there.
Is there
about-
any non-contenders that are outside of the lottery that could get in here?
Atlanta.
Like my thought goes
15.
like maybe like an Atlanta or like a Brooklyn,
Yep.
a Minnesota.
I think Brooklyn's an automatic one just because, again, we've talked about this earlier, but they have 21 and 22, as well as all those future Houston picks because of the James Harden trade, which is
I don't think they're offering McHale. I think McHale's just gonna be there.
Yep. Kind of their shape.
Golden
Like
State.
Nick mentioned.
Yeah, Nick, what about Golden State Kaminga? You're like the resident Kaminga guy here. Is that value?
Can you shop?
He was the
Kuminga
Wiseman
for
guy.
5?
To be fair.
Like Kaminga 19,
Pool?
Pool. I'm trying to make
any-
contracts
for
match up. Is
anything? I
Pool a
don't love
negative
that.
asset at this point?
I'm not doing that trade.
I don't know if he's a negative, but not. Yeah.
I'm not doing that trade.
either.
What about to Orlando at like 11? Just to just
That would be more realistic.
the one I had actually was Kuminga and Poole to 11 for, and also Isaac. They get Isaac back.
Yeah.
Why not?
Who did
We're talking
you
about
say?
cultural fits. I don't know if Jonathan Isaac in San Francisco fits.
Well, maybe he can
Keep his mouth shut, stay healthy, and it's
Yeah,
a
he's,
great-
he's had a hard time of that part, Taylor.
Both
He wrote a
of them.
book.
Yeah,
he did write a book. It's
it's tough.
an interesting one.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this Pistons one is difficult.
It's very difficult.
Sacramento has been aggressive, but I don't think they're going to be aggressive in trading up.
No.
They'll be aggressive in looking for the OG Ananobi's, Kyle
Mhm.
Kuzma's, etc. In free agency. I don't know. I don't have a good one here. Pistons stay pat.
They should. Like if we're being
They
real,
should.
if anybody's gonna stay pat, it's got to be them.
They should.
Him or
See, after today, I
Team
think if
goes up
anyone
forward.
is going to stay pat, it's going to be Washington.
at
Unless
8, yeah.
unless Anthony Black
That is
is
fair.
rumored to go off the board at
That's
6.
Dude, they need.
I mean,
they need
It's a lot of leverage now.
They need something. Okay, we'll let the Detroit Pistons stay put at 5 for now. 6, the Orlando Magic.
I was thinking about
Is there any swap between 5 and 6? Like Orlando catches wind that Detroit's going to take their guy, so they move up one spot?
no, because I think the Pistons are kind of in a boat where they kind of have to draft for positional fit. They've got
What
the
if-
bigs, they've got the guards,
What if
They're going to take a
Whitmore's-
big at 5.
but they're not going to take a big, like not a 5. They're going to take like a
Yeah.
Jarris Walker or
Oh,
Cam
okay, yeah,
Whitmore,
fair.
like a big
So
guy
you
that
would
can
go
I
play.
think Cam Whitmore is
That
the right
means-
choice there. If they
If
took
Cam-
Jarris, I'd just be like,
I don't like
you're
Jarris
just going
there.
to start a whole bunch of guys that are 6'8" and taller and maybe can't space the floor.
Yes.
So that would mean a min would drop to 6 in this hypothetical. If Cam goes to 4 or goes to Houston at 4, and then you take Jarris at 5, a min at 6 with it. So I could see the Pistons, goodness, the Magic
Magic.
trading this pick in this hypothetical. If
to get up to
because-
get him in Thompson
Yeah,
if he slid here.
right,
Who's trading up for him in?
like a team would. If
Oh,
Orlando
a
Fury
team.
is available, right.
Hypothetical.
If the Raptors got up to 4 in our fake trades here and took like
That's what makes this difficult.
Cam Whitmore, and then so at 5, Amen Thompson is available. Like, could Orlando trade up one spot to get it?
No,
Or
'cause
I
I think
could
they know
see-
Detroit's not going to take another super athletic, fast, big guard.
I could see the Spurs.
I don't know.
In this situation.
We know who
like,
their GM is.
it's fair. I can see the Spurs in this situation, like trading whatever they could to get back up into the first round, get a
If the
starting
Spurs
caliber
got
point
1 and
guard.
5, to not trade up,
That's
to trade
been-
in to pick 5
Yeah.
is insane.
I had the
Yep.
Spurs trading in a pick 6 for my
Oh,
fake trade.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay, let's
There's
go there.
been
What is it?
rumors of
Saucy.
I'm gonna use my words correctly. A Keldon Johnson pick package.
There it is.
Okay.
So you guys would have
See,
to
I
discuss
like
what
that a
the
lot
picks
more
are.
than a,
That it?
That's interesting because Orlando already has some future pick assets from other trades. What if it was like, I don't know if San Antonio would do this. If it's like Keldon Johnson and Vassell,
No,
they need a shooter.
no.
I don't think I would either, but I wonder if that's like what it would take.
No, but
Kel-
I think the Magic are ready to be halfway decent. Like they act like, while the Thunder got all the attention last year for surging, like the Magic for a little bit there were like, wow, they're actually kind of on the rise too. They could get a more proven guy. Like
Do you
a
think
Keldon
the Magic
Johnson.
would prefer Keldon Johnson or Devin Vassell?
Oh, Vassell.
oh, easily Vassell, but to Nick's point, like
Got to extend him.
Yeah.
You want that
I'd
on your
extend him.
plate?
Either would be
I would
awesome
too,
there.
but at what price? That's always the question.
Either would be awesome there, I think.
Yeah. I think if the Spurs are going to trade in, it's going to have to be one of those two they're dangling.
I agree. Cool. Let's do it at 6. We'll do the Spurs get back in. And the trade is for, we're going Johnson or Vassell here.
Johnson.
All the same.
Keldon Johnson is the
I think
trade,
that's more
plus
likely.
a lot of picks. We only have 2 more picks: 7 Indiana Pacers and 8 the Washington Wizards. Any thoughts
Weird
on
spot.
either of those?
Indiana's in a weird spot because I can't tell like how soon they're trying to win. Like, do they want to get back into the Ayton sweepstakes?
Well,
and move.
they've been linked to Kyle Kuzma, so like I think they're definitely
Not
trying
sure
to
that
make
answers the
moves.
question.
Yeah,
No.
fair.
No,
point.
like, what direction
On
is that?
paper, yeah, right. It's not
Yeah.
going to.
You're
get them
talking
there.
Wizards?
No, Pacers.
Pacers.
Oh, you said they're interested in Kyle Kuzma.
Right. Yeah.
I thought
sorry.
you were talking
Sorry.
Wizards.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
My opinion, and this is the cop out answer like Detroit, one of Jarris and Taylor's going to fall. And what they need is a power forward. If I'm Indiana, like I'm taking calls, sure, let's hear what you got. I think they're in the
Agreed.
perfect spot at 7.
Agreed. I agree.
I actually think both guys are going to be on the board there for him.
Ooh.
Whoa.
You hope they are. So that means Oklahoma City might be trading up.
Come on.
No, like I really think there's a good chance that both of them. I mean, if top 3 stays pat, Amen and Cam are 4 and 5.
Yeah. And then Asar
At,
goes.
at 6 with Orlando, like I don't know if they're taking one of the 2 of those guys when you have Wendell Carter, Paulo Banchero, Franz Wagner, the other Wagner. Technically still have Jonathan Isaac. Like you've got a lot of those really big wing /
Anthony
forward,
Black
like a
there.
Jarris. And
They're
like I
really
don't know if a
good.
Jarris or a Taylor makes sense to Orlando at 6. I think there's a legit chance that both of those guys will be on the board for the Indiana Pacers to make their choice between the 2. I could see a
Or
very
maybe they
realistic-
trade back. They say we like them both. Let's trade with Utah or somebody.
Maybe
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City.
they lie to Washington and say that, hey, we're fine with bringing another tall, lanky guard in here next to Tyrese Halliburton. We're going to take Anthony Black, and they make Washington jump up a spot.
Yeah.
Be
Like,
smart.
could that be a thing?
100%.
think so.
What would it take for Washington to move up one spot and swap places with Indiana?
Future picks.
Well, we already know that they owe a pick out the door that's protected. So trading one of their own future picks. If I'm Washington right now, as of 10:20 p.m. on Sunday, June 18th, I'm not trading my own picks
Yeah.
Agreed.
because it is very clearly we are setting the house on fire, burning it down to the foundation and rebuilding.
Yep.
Could you trade some of the stuff you just got in the Phoenix trade? Some of the swaps?
like a little Shamit, a little Landry Shamit in Indiana.
Gross.
I know.
Gross.
That's pretty gross. What if it's like, I don't know, does it have to be a player?
I think
I feel like for Indiana it probably does. Wouldn't it? Was it
Denny Avdia?
Well, that's yeah.
Does he have enough value to move you up from 8 to 7?
Only
Johnny
in your
Dick.
mind. But wasn't it was it Windhorst who said something about Indiana
Pacers are
wanting a
looking to
wing?
trade 7 for a wing. And OG
Yeah,
was obviously the one
OG.
they had
I mean,
in
we
mind.
traded Siakam. Maybe it's OG.
I kind of like that. Toronto gets like 4 and 7 and gets
That
off
is
their 2
interesting.
bets.
Makes a lot
That
of
is
sense.
interesting. And so the
But
reason
they
I
don't
say
have
OG
14 to
is
swap now.
because Pacers were linked to him at the trade deadline. I think that's kind of who they had in mind when Horst threw out that report.
Yeah.
I like that. Man,
Is that
that's
enough value for Indiana? Just OG for 7?
in this
think
Who's
so.
hypothetical?
technically he's a rental, isn't he?
I would take him for if Taylor Hendricks is there only and not Jarris. Yes, if Jarris is there, it's such a hard call because
I
Jarris
agree.
could be,
Yeah.
I mean, cheaper, younger, just as good if not better.
Like a glove.
But again, like
Yeah.
if I'm looking at this through a Thunder lens, like my answer is automatically no. I want the I even hate using the term gamble. I'm more of a upside with these young guys. But if on the Pacers, who I know are like more of this retool than rebuild, it's probably the term to use here. I think they absolutely would go for an OG to surround Tyrese and Ben Mathurin. I don't know. I can see it from their perspective. Carlisle is a head coach. He's not really like a development rebuild kind of coach. I think they're ready to quote unquote compete.
Anything OKC can do to get to 7. You want a wing? We got a Poku.
Would you? We got a Poku.
Oh no.
Come
I mean,
on.
Kenrich Williams makes a lot of sense there. Obviously, would have to be
12
a
Kenrich
couple
and like
picks.
3 picks.
Right.
That
I
hurts.
don't love that.
Don't love that.
So then we're talking Dort and less picks. And I know Dort's not technically a wing, but he kind of is.
I don't think Dort gets it done either.
Even
Dort's
with
just a few
like
inches taller than we are.
3 or so. Yeah,
Unless
I
you're
know.
Justin, he's 5 inches
Yeah.
shorter than Justin.
But he's guarding LeBron. He's guarding whoever your best player is on the opposing team because of his size. Because of his not his length, but his strength. Thank you. I don't know. I'm just throwing out hypotheticals on how it could potentially get done. We're not giving up J-Dub and picks.
Yeah, right. Like if that's true that they want a wing, I'm not sure OKC has what they want.
Or are willing to give up what they want. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Totally agree. I think the last one here is maybe just a 8 and 7 swap for something small.
Yeah.
A protected first, maybe the 2 pick swaps with Phoenix that Washington just got in the Brad Beal trade.
Yep.
Washington moves
Makes more
up,
sense.
makes sure that they get Anthony Black. The Pacers think that both of those bigs will still be there, both of those wings, and Jarris and Tayler. Maybe that's as simple as it gets.
I like that.
Sound good?
Yep.
Sounds good.
The only stuff we haven't traded is 11 and 12, Orlando and OKC. But this podcast has also gone off the rails because what I thought was a good plan has turned into an incredibly convoluted trade process.
been a
So
lot
to
of fun.
recap, real quick, Spurs kept number 1. Charlotte trades pick number 2 to New Orleans for pick 14 and Brandon Ingram. The Blazers trade pick number 3 to Utah for pick number 9 and Lauri Markkanen. The Rockets trade pick number 4 to the Raptors for pick 13 and Siakam. Detroit stayed put because we couldn't figure anything out there. The Orlando Magic make a trade with the Spurs, Keldon Johnson plus a lot of picks for pick 6. The Pacers and the Wizards swap 7 and 8. And then as we move down the board, the Utah Jazz at 9. We've already made that trade. The Mavs at 10. We didn't do that one, but we could just say it's that Atlanta trade that we talked about earlier. Magic and Thunder stayed put at 11 and 12. The Raptors moved up, and the Pelicans moved up. Before we get off tonight, this
Phrasing.
Justin's face.
before we get off the podcast tonight, this whole idea was born out of rumors that basically every lottery pick is available. Give me the over-under. How many lottery picks get traded on draft night?
I think the over under is 2.5. And yeah, I'm with Nick. I would take the under. I think it'll probably be 2.
Yeah, I'm with you. There are always more rumors than actual moves that happen. There does appear to be more rumors than usual this year. Maybe it's more like 3.
Recency
3.5.
bias.
If Nick gets his wish, we can accomplish this in one trade.
I mean, seriously.
How
Hey,
many
I
lotto
would-
picks got traded last year? 3? 11, 13, and 14?
That's a good point.
I know 11 got traded for sure.
Oh, do you?
And then was 14 the Mark? Why am I forgetting his last
Mark
name?
Williams?
Mark
Williams.
Williams. Was 14 that pick?
Nope.
Dude, I don't know. Those traded. I'm the wrong person to ask.
I'm pulling
was
it
a-
up real quick and I can
It was
tell
a
you.
mix of Jalen Duren, Mark Williams.
Yeah. All jumbled up.
All
Uh,
jumbled.
Yeah,
It
and they were all 3
was-
lotto picks, right?
Yeah, Detroit. Yes.
Oh, Mark Williams was pick 15.
Cavs, which turned into a Jazz player, was 14.
There you go. Got traded later on.
14 would have been J-Dub if Oklahoma City didn't take him.
Good point.
Yes. So I think 2 is probably a good number for all the rumors that are out there. There's probably not going to be a lot of lottery moves.
I put money on the over. Oh,
I hope it is.
yeah.
Be a lot of
Shit.
It's
fun
more
with it.
fun if it is.
2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10. Trade them all, baby.
Trade them all.
Musical chairs. Just like the.
I mean,
head
just
coach
someone
carousel.
DM this podcast to the league office, to Adam Silver. Let's just make it happen.
Yeah, we'll fire up a group chat. You guys can
Yeah.
work it out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
The
Just
NBA
like the
WhatsApp.
GMs.
Awesome. Silva, I think it's time we get out of here. Hey, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Uncontested tonight. This is your first time tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're a longtime listener, we appreciate you. We'll be back Wednesday, 9 p.m., 24 hours before the NBA draft. Actually, like 22 hours before the NBA draft to give our final predictions. And then draft night. We're here live hanging out with you guys all night long. So make sure to tune in, hang out. It'll be a blast. You guys enjoy the beginning of your week. Enjoy Juneteenth. We will talk to you again in a few days. Until then, and as always, thunder up.